Hello, my name's Pete. I'm an organiser in Nottingham, and I'm going to unpack briefly the next tool of relational leadership you're going to need, a house meeting. So this here on the left is Rita, and she's speaking to over 600 people a couple of years ago about her mental health challenges. And that night she won commitments from local health leaders around the issues that she raised. But this would not have been possible if 18 months prior to that night, Rita had not attended a house meeting. And in this house meeting, Rita shared her story for the first time. And she took her private pain and she turned it into a shared pain alongside other people with similar experiences. So, what is a house meeting? It's a guided conversation of about 5 to 10 people. It's time limited, so 45 minutes is about right, max an hour. And in a house meeting, you're encouraged to share stories, to share personal experiences. And a house meeting, it should be said, is not necessarily in a house. The key is that it's a welcoming environment. And of course, in current context, we're learning how to do that well in the online world. Why do we use house meetings? Well, first and foremost, we use house meetings in order to spot leaders. So we're interested in the issues, but first and foremost, your house meeting is interested in people. If we were interested in just the issues, just the problems, then you could do a survey or a poll, something fairly faceless. And you might come up with a list of issues that would be interesting, but you would have no sense of who wanted to work on them and how strongly they felt about them. So it's about people, it's about those leaders that you're trying to spot, but it is also about the issues, but crucially, it's about the shared concerns that people might have. And so for Rita, when she heard other people talk about their mental health challenges, she realized that she wasn't alone. She was reassured by the collective, and an energy was built among them to take some action. Your house meeting needs just 4 simple ingredients. It needs a chairperson, somebody to guide the conversation and to be that host. It needs a scribe, that person to work alongside the chair and to help particularly with that discernment around what is the common issue or thread that might be emerging. It needs a timekeeper, and it needs a simple question like this one. What is putting pressure on you and the people you care about? Here's a suggested agenda for your house meeting. The timings here are for your learning group activity. In a moment, you're going to have about 40 minutes. So you could extend these slightly back in your own context. But yeah, you'll start with a chair, welcoming attendees, explaining the why of the house meeting, a bit like what I've done, and explaining where you're hoping to get to by the end of your time together. After this, you'd have a timed round. So a minute, maybe 90 seconds each, where everybody answers your chosen question. After the rounds, the chair and the scribe begin to reflect back to the group what they've heard and suggest what the common thread or common threads might be. And then you can have an open conversation around those. You're encouraging people to connect their experiences with others that they've heard around the room. And then finally, the chair thanks everybody for participating and makes some suggestions for next steps and actions around the issue or issues you've identified. So that's it. You're going to go into your learning groups, and your learning group leaders have a resource so they can share with you to unpack this a little bit more, but you're going to have a go. So good luck, and I'll see you the other side.